You ever think when you voted for President Trump that things were going to cost you more and you were going to lose money?
I never thought I was going to lose this much money, this fast.
Jim is a Republican who voted for Donald Trump 3 times.
How do you feel about your vote for Donald Trump now?
Well, I feel like perhaps I should have considered some other options.
Want us, all of us, that voted for you, for your small business, for your family, for your farm, for the people working on your farm. You want us to have empathy and to support you when you didn't support us. You didn't support women. You didn't support immigrants.
And many soybean farmers who once supported Trump are now facing serious regret. According to CNN, U.S. soybean exports are now subject to a staggering 135% tariff.
MAGA farmers voting Trump. Now they're getting everything that comes with him. Hello everyone, this is The Ask, and if it's your first time, please subscribe and give us a like. You'll be helping our channel so much. So today's video, we are reacting on MAGA farmers regretting voting for Trump because tariffs are getting real and are hitting very hard. So let's jump to the videos and see how they are.
Make honey.
At Secret Garden Bees, a honey farm in Linden, North Carolina, farmer Jim Hartman has one eye on his bees and the other on his bank account.
Ideally, we'll get 100 pounds of honey per hive per year.
How do you feel about paying more for things?
Well, you know, if you find someone who says, I'm happy about paying more for something, you point them out to me. People who already couldn't afford fresh vegetables, who couldn't already afford to put good food on their plate, are the ones that are really going to be hurt by this.
Did you ever think when you voted for President Trump that things were going to cost you more and you were going to lose money?
I never thought I was going to lose this much money, this fast.
Jim is a Republican who voted for Donald Trump 3 times.
How do you feel about your vote for Donald Trump now?
Well, I feel like perhaps I should have considered some other options.
Among other things, Jim imports packaging supplies for his honey, so he's paying real close attention to the tariffs Trump just put in place.
We just bought our year's supply of bottles from Taiwan and our year's supply of corks from Portugal about 3 weeks ago. So that would have been, another $5,000 or $6,000 out of my pocket.
Which is partly why he's repairing instead of replacing this 40-year-old forklift.
The cost of equipment has just gone through the roof to buy anything like that because it just would be cost prohibitive.
He's also holding off on improvements around the farm.
Well, we're not going to hire any more people, that's for sure.
It's more than just the tariffs. For the past 2 years, Jim has been selling honey to the federal government, which then provides it to schools and food banks. But after Donald Trump took office, the USDA cut those programs suddenly as part of the federal government's effort to streamline spending.
For a lot of other local farmers around here, it was a major source of reliable revenue. For me, it's going to cost me around $150,000 a year.
$150,000?
Yeah, roughly 50% of my revenue.
That's a huge hit.
We have some big news right now. Donald Trump's tariffs on China are hitting American farmers the hardest. And many soybean farmers, who once supported Trump, are now facing serious regret. According to CNN, U.S. soybean exports are now subject to a staggering 135% tariff. That's the result of a 10% tariff imposed in March, plus a 125% tariff added last week. This has made it nearly impossible for U.S. farmers to compete in China, one of their biggest markets. And history is repeating itself. Back in 2018, during the first trade war, Brazil became the global leader in soybean exports. Since then, Brazilian exports to China have grown 280%. Meanwhile, U.S. exports have stayed flat. Most of these struggling farmers are from red states, states that voted for Trump in 2016 and again in 2024. They believed the promises of exemptions and bailouts, but those bailouts haven't come, and their businesses are suffering. Now many are experiencing buyer's remorse because their loyalty didn't protect their livelihoods. Stay informed. Follow for more quick updates.
Alright guys, I didn't really want to have to get on here and do this, but I had to. These are fiberglass stakes right here. Those big bulky stakes on the back of the truck, wooden stakes. I called 2 weeks ago to get a quote on these fiberglass stakes because we need some more stakes this year. I got a quote, 83 cents. I called the man this morning. I said, hey, I know these tariffs are crazy and everything going on. I said, what can you do me on those fiberglass stakes now if we needed a load? It's a 3-month ETA from time you place the order. He said, Taylor, he said, you don't want to hear this price and I'm about to give you. And I said, well, give it to me anyways. He said, each of those steaks now is going to be $1.74 a piece. And I said, well, you know, and I know both that we can't do that, and that's going to be impossible. So that's just to let you know a little bit of what we're going through out here on our farm and what farmers in general are going through. These tariffs, not the best thing for our country. I voted for Trump.
Well, now it's a problem, right? Y'all voted for the guy who said trade wars are very easy to win. He told you he was going to slap tariffs on everything. But because it was aimed to China, it sounded like a win, right? Nah. Didn't think that would come back and smack your own crops.
Okay, I know that collectively farmers voted for Donald Trump, right? 3 times. That's part of his large constituency. And even though he messed them up in 2016 and had to try to bail them out, and even though President Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris helped farmers nonstop, the majority of the farming community voted for Donald Trump again, and he won. Now, that is not to say that the farmers in Maine unanimously voted for him, because we know Maine went for Harris. However, the farming demographic generally votes majority Republican, and they have for decades, even though Democrats helped them most. Even in California, where I am, before the election, you could drive up and down 80 and see these farms with their giant Trump signs. Now, those signs are gone now, right? Those signs are gone now. So Maine could be like California. It's a blue state. However, the farming demographic can still vote for Republicans. Now, that being said, again, to rate this, I like that they got their tractors out there, but I'm only going to give them a 2 because those tractors can do some serious damage if they were really up to it. So I'm going to give them a 2 because they voted, the majority voted for him. Of course, not all did, but the majority voted for him, and they got their little protest. This is what, April? This is April. Y'all need to shut down that Capitol there and just park those trailers out there, put on some good old boy music, and just stay there until you can help get this thing fixed. So your rating, the 2.
Tariffs, not the best thing for our country. I voted for Trump.
I am seeing an awful lot of people that voted for Trump that are openly making these videos about, oh, my small business is being hurt even though I voted for Trump. I would be embarrassed. I would be embarrassed to make this video because it is really obvious at how wrong you were. I mean, it was very clear to a lot of us how wrong it was to vote for him many years ago. But definitely this past election, it was very clear that voting for him was an immoral decision. But this is just another way that you guys are showing that you only care about you. You want us, all of us, that voted for you, for your small business, for your family, for your farm, for the people working on your farm. You want us to have empathy and to support you when you didn't support us. You didn't support women. You didn't support immigrants. You didn't support low-income families. You didn't support impoverished people. And now you expect us to feel bad for you. A lot of you guys expect us to feel bad for you and to have empathy for you. And you guys are in the find out phase.
tariffs are messing with the whole country's economy, but farmers, you are the center of this storm, right? You helped breathe it, and you believed the hype, voted for cows, and now you are shocked there is a mess. Come on now. This is what happens when you choose slogan over substance, when you vote for owning the leap instead of protecting your livelihood. Give us a like, subscribe if it's your first time to this channel, and yeah, see you to the next video, but share to those people who need to see this video. Bye bye, see you to the next one.